those details didn't matter as much as us just having a fun time and trying to be innovative and seeing how far we can push it.
We all came out the pool, so all the wet footsteps led right back to the hotel door, like idiots.
I remember you going upstairs and you cut them off halfway through, Johnny Mnemonic style. You just ripped the shit out of the computer.
Run and jump into the side of a metal like stop sign.
Instead of stopping the music, he plays the KRS-One track. Like, whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the police.
Hey there, it's me, Roxy Cottontail. You might know me as a DJ, artist, designer, and New York City party promoter, or from my bunny logo. I'm putting all that on the table and writing about the years that transformed music and the New York City scene. I've interviewed 250 friends and colleagues I admire. I ask all and reveal all. Please join me in the tales to rediscover the 90s and the Y2K magical landscape of music, art, technology, and streetwear. This is Roxy's Tales. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves individually. Who wants to go first?
Okay, I'm Adam. DJ A-Rock with the crew.
I guess I was on the promotion team at the time, like the like artist team, I guess. I don't know, driving them out to like random gigs and like.
She was the driver. That's the truth. That's the truth.
I was the one with the driver's license at the time.
Okay, I'm DL Jones. I was the promoter, the booking artist, and hosting with Shay.
Co-founder,
Yeah.
co-founder along with
Liam Thurston.
our friend Liam Thurston.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Hi. I'm Hatch.
We're so rowdy. I'm so sorry, Roxy.
Hatched out of an egg.
My guest this week on Roxy's Tales is the rowdy party phenomenon out of Montreal known as peer pressure. Born in the Y2K era of Quebec, peer pressure wasn't just a party. It was a movement in Canada that rang out worldwide. Curated by DJ A-Rock, Shay, DL Jones, and Hatchmatik, with founding member Liam Thurston, they built chaos, community, and unforgettable nights that helped shape a monster scene. Without further ado, peer pressure. How did peer pressure happen?
It was mad organic.
Yeah.
Organic in the way that I think it was happening to a certain extent without us even realizing it. It was kind of clear at one point that something was going down, but even that first time, it just seemed so comfortable. That's from my perspective on it.
And what year was this?
2005. I met Liam because I was doing the promotion for this Boy George party at Club 1234, and and then
That's how you met Leo?
Yeah, and then they're like, yo, like we need somebody to do flyering in the village. We went to the party and had a great time, and then at a certain point we're like, yo, like we should do something, like just me and you, and get DJs on our end, and try to like do something where we're not working for someone else. And that was kind of the start of it. And then that's when I approached him about Adam, who I'd met before when I was working at Area, and then he hit up Hatch.
DL was writing for the Mirror. He had a little column as yeah, do you remember that? The Black Clark Kent?
Yeah.
He was the Black Clark Kent.
Yeah.
And then you were the all-seeing eye also.
Yeah.
The all-seeing eye.
The letter.
And I came up to you one time at that club that was on Sherbrooke Street. You were there and I came up to you just to compliment you on your writing. I remember that. And that's how we actually started talking.
Yeah. Cool.
I met DL.
Oh my God.
I met DL from him dropping off tickets to Area at American Apparel where I was working. Anyway, so we met. DL got me. He was like, "Hey, why don't you come to this party I'm throwing?" And it was the first one I went to. It was like I think the second gig you guys did at Final.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was the after party to the MIA show.
The Saturday Scandal.
Saturday Scandal.
Yeah, she was down, and then I was like, "Well, fuck, you should join the crew then." And
actually, you were like, "You're Shay from MySpace, remember?"
Oh my God, really?
We spent so much time on the HTML.
Oh yeah.
So
Much customizing and like figuring out the song you wanted to play when when someone logged or like clicked onto your profile. Like such an important song. And then you remember you had like your playlist of songs that you could like make your selection, and that also was like very telling.
It was hugely important when you started making your own music to be able to share it through MySpace, right? And have people be able to hear what you were doing. Like a lot of the gigs that we got, like, were from people going on your MySpace, hearing what you did, and then being like, literally sending you a MySpace message, being like, "Hey, do you want to come DJ in Hong Kong?" And you're like, yes,
That's
true.
crazy.
Yeah.
So it's insane when you think about how many artists and how many people were discovered through MySpace and how like grew through MySpace. Like it's just like it was such a like cultural force, and then it just kind of disappeared, which I find is very interesting. Like how quickly it went away.
I think for us, a lot of it too was a lot of hand-to-hand flyering.
Yeah.
Too. Like we were hitting people up like IRL. You know,
I
like,
did that too.
we would do like the handmade flyers.
The first ones were like paint swatches from Home Depot with just like a rubber stamp on them, right?
Yeah.
Whose idea to do paint swatches?
Oh, that was Liam. Liam was like the art guy, 100%. Like, and a bit of it was Hatch too. Hatch had like some of that vision too.
But there's something, it's kind of funny, and I don't know how to like quantify this at all, but like something about the like art scene that evolved out of like street artists and graffiti artists from Ottawa specifically, like, which is like the capital of Canada. It's 2 hours away from Montreal. It's a much smaller city, but like there was something about, and maybe it's not specific to Ottawa, but like because of the people that we know that are from Ottawa, it feels like an Ottawa thing. Just like, what can you get for free? You know what I mean? Like, what can you go and like grab like 300 of and not have to pay anybody for? And it has like this aesthetic quality to it, and it's mass produced, but you didn't have to buy it. And then like the rubber stamp, you just like lay them all out, rubber stamp them, like shake, you know, a spray paint can upside down and like create something from nothing kind of. And I think that like industriousness is, for whatever reason, maybe it's just my own, you know, take on it, but yeah, it's feels like a bit of an Ottawa thing.
You mentioned an after party for MIA, but that was pre peer pressure.
If Shay's saying we were already doing something at Vinyl, it means it wasn't like pre peer pressure, because like basically like we did that one like loft party that Adam and I, that was the first time we DJ'd together.
The first party was Hatch and Adam at that loft on Saint Laurent, and that was just like Renegade, like just booked this loft for like a couple $100. We over promoted it, like we just pushed it too hard with those paint swatch flyers. And then I remember at a certain point, like after 3, there was already a lineup. And I remember I was at the door stressing out, like telling people like after a while, like, okay, like you can't get in. And I locked the door, and I went up and tried to take the money away. And then the cops just kicked in the door. And then I like flew through the party to try to hide the door money. And then what Hatch does, instead of stopping the music, he plays the KRS-One track. Like, whoop, whoop, that's the sound of the police.
And people just went like insane. And the cop like runs over to my turntable and like grabs the record like off the turntable. He's like, "You're an idiot," or like he said something to me. "Stupid. You're stupid." And then I was like, he's holding this like original KRS-One record, and I'm like, "Okay, dude, like I get it. That was dumb. Like I'm an asshole. Like whatever. But like you have to give me the record back. Like I really need that. I need you to give it back to me."
But then after he took the record off, people kept chanting it. And then that's when the cops were like, "All right, everybody out." Like, like, oh man, am I in trouble? This is like my first party I did on my own, like you know, like not like with a official club or anything like that, but like with these guys. And yeah, I thought I was in the biggest load of shit for a while after that one, but we made it out of there and then kept it rolling.
Who were some of the first acts or DJs that you were booking?
We kept it local for the longest bit, because I mean that was kind of like the benefit of like just having the crews that like these guys were killing it, so there wasn't really much need at first. But then when, you know, through MySpace, I guess, and like other means, when you start finding out about like other people who are doing similar things elsewhere, you kind of became kind of like this like beneficial thing to like, okay, we'll book you, and then, you know, you have us out there when you get a chance or whatever. And then that's how like, you know, with Jokers of the Scene in Ottawa, Rory in Toronto, who else were we working back then, like in like different
Cut We had like
oh yeah,
That was like the captain and Shark.
Yeah,
And
so we had
that was cool.
Red Fox?
Red Fox
Yeah.
also.
Red Fox out of,
Because those parties started to break us out, and they got us out to play in like New York and everything, you know, and that was a huge benefit, like DL was saying, to like get involved with everybody else doing similar jams.
Wasn't there Pase Rock was another one that we brought up?
Oh yeah.
One of the more interesting jams too was when we started doing stuff with like Kid's sister, and that's when we met. That's when we met like Flashadamus.
Oh,
Yeah.
Also, and then we did that like mini tour in Quebec City.
There were little hubs in each city where it was like this same, like similar subculture happening in every other place.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there was always the big commercial scene happening elsewhere, but we were kind of like, you know, the alternative here. And then we reached out to like the alternatives in other cities too. And we kind of like kept it rolling, and like, we're all like-minded too, which was really cool.
Well, it was kind of like at one point, it was like whenever an artist would come and do a show, it was like expected that we would do their after party.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of like the formula was, I'm coming to do an official show at like whatever, like, you know, regular tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, what are you guys going to do? Like, I want to jam with you guys. And DL was like excellent and always like pulling that together so fast out of nowhere, finding venues randomly. So there's a lot, like we were kind of like the unofficial after party, like, you know, crew that would just take care of artists that would come through Montreal. And in exchange, like they said, like they would go, if they could, to other cities and do the same out there.
Yeah. I think that like eclectic interest in all sorts of different styles of music and finding ways to blend them together, not being afraid to go like halftime and then just straight play like rap music for half an hour, 20 minutes, and then mix it up with like some like a Be More sound into like house music. You know what I mean? We mixed it up so much that like exactly like you said, everybody found their path through it, and they got really, I just felt there was a massive connection just in terms of like the flow and vibe and energy between everybody that would come through the jams. And it was really fun to see that.
When did you both start DJing?
Personally, I started mixing maybe around, it was like 99 or 2000, something around there.
And you, Hatchie?
Yeah, around there too. Like I would say, like I was a bedroom DJ for like 4 years until like we started playing out like regularly. Up until then, I'd only played a couple parties.
Were there other weeklies after vinyl then?
Yeah, there was Blizzards. That was every Tuesday, and I think like was Blizzards just after vinyl, or were they happening? They were happening at the same time.
It was like it kind of overlapped a little bit.
Because like we started vinyl, it was me and Static playing vinyl, but then you started Funky Field Trip with Static so that Hatchie could come in. And because we had a much more similar vibe, you know, in terms of the kind of music we wanted to play, so that we started that. But then eventually, me and Shads, we started. Oh no, DL started Funky Field Trip, and then eventually, me and Shads
turned it to me.
Yeah, you gave it to Shads, and we turned it into Teen Wolf.
I took it over from DL. I don't know why.
No, because you were doing DL was doing something else.
I don't know why you gave that one. I don't know why that one.
I was doing the rock night on Wednesdays too, I think.
And then we did a monthly at the Drake Hotel Underground in Toronto. We would go like by train or drive to Toronto once a month. We ran that for almost 5 years, I think.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, we went to like Toronto, like to DJ together like 70 times.
But also like after vinyl, it was kind of like Peer Pressure Presents, with like a lot of different events in the city, not necessarily like residency, but like we would definitely be throwing more like non after hour kind of events, and that was happening more sporadic.
Remember that time that we got DJ? We DJ'd in Halifax, and then we flew back. We were with Double A. We were DJing in Halifax, and we flew back to Montreal because we had to play Coda, and we decided to take a limousine from the airport.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that shit? We took a limousine from the airport, and in our minds we're just like, yo, we're gonna fucking roll up in front of this club in front of everybody. We know they're gonna be swarming outside, and me and Hatch, we're gonna come out of the limousine. The shit's gonna be like champagne's flowing, lights and everything. Everybody's gonna be like chanting. That's what we had in mind until we realized that Coda was slightly out of the zone for the limousine drop off. So for us to get dropped off 1 block over in front of everybody would have cost us an extra like $50 each. So we both looked at each other. We're just like, fuck it. We just got out of the limousine 2 blocks from Coda and walked.
With the records on our back.
With the
like,
records. Yeah. I still think about that shit. That was so bummed.
Wow. You guys have so much history. How long were you guys throwing parties together?
The 7th year reunion, the 7th year anniversary was our last kind of like big one.
Yeah.
Right.
And then after that, so that's like 2012, I guess, when we like kind of started like all doing our own thing instead of like under the umbrella of Peer Pressure. So DL continued doing things under DL Jones. Hatch, Adam started DJing. I started DJing around 2009.
Yeah, like I mean, everybody started doing their own thing, you know. Like I think that like everybody kind of had like their own little niche in their spots too, and yeah, you know, like demand kind of changed as well, and so people were like kind of just focused on what they were good at in their own specific zones, and that's what. Like
I had a monthly at that Velvet spot that you went to, and that started in 2013. The first one was with you, DL, and we brought Bronx.
Oh yeah.
He came up to kind of like throw this. Like, I was like throwing this new party there, and so I had it under like my own thing. But then I often book either DL, Hatch, or Adam to come and do their thing there. So it wasn't like an official Peer Pressure thing, but I think anytime anyone sees any combination of our names together on a bill, they're like, I think in people's mind, they still think Peer Pressure, even though it's not explicitly billed as that.
Who came up with the name Peer Pressure?
DL.
I mean, I picked it, but it was from a list of names that Liam had written out. And you wrote out like, okay, what do you think of this name? What do you think of this name? And I was like, man, Peer Pressure kind of sounds cool. So yeah, that was pretty much it.
Liam was also the creative director in the sense of like, he would create all the artwork for all of our flyers. He would create the artwork for all of our merch, our t-shirts, our like anything that we like made that had our branding or anything like that. He was the mastermind behind all of that. Like, he put a lot of energy and time into like creating that aesthetic as well, so that people really like were drawn to. And like we definitely had like a style of artwork that was very like particular to our events. That was all Liam as well.
I think you really sold it like that, because like Liam came up with dope ideas, like with the paint swatch stamps. We would just get like some like shitty like print shop styled like like art. We would never print like posters and banners, and like we'd rarely do expensive stuff. It was always
paper.
Like,
we couldn't always do that either, because for the amount of loft parties that we've done too, there was no way we could actually print official flyers too. So it's kind of like, oh, what can we do last minute to spread the word?
Exactly.
And like there was at the time, it wasn't like there was like bulletin board on MySpace and Facebook. It was just kind of like you could post it bulletin, but there was not like the same level of like promoting tools like online.
Any other like promote or like a team that was doing events like you guys in Montreal?
Neon was kind of like the big brother in a sense. Like they were just like way more set up and organized, and they were doing like actual like techno and like electro parties. It was a bit more defined than us and like older too. So I don't know, what would you guys say like are good examples like who they were booking at the time, like Hacker,
Boys Noise,
like,
Tiga.
Tiga.
Like they were a little bit more established. They were running a legitimate business, and we were trying.
No, we were not. I feel like we were pretty we were pretty much on our own at the time, like right in that pocket. There was no one else doing what we were doing. And then through seeing us do it, I think a lot of younger crews started coming up with the like kind of saw the formula, and they're like, hey, we could do this too.
I think it was organic for a lot of different cities too. I think it's really cool that we had like the honor to represent that here. But it's really hard to replicate that era because it was really just a perfect mix of things coming together.
You can't replicate the idea of like not having photos of your night and like having to go on the computer the next day and like going on the websites of the party photographers and like hoping that somebody took a photo of you and that you could get some photos of yourself from that party because your phone, you had a camera, but it was like so grainy and dark and like, you know, digital cameras, they just weren't looking cool. So like there was this whole thing where you were kind of like just free to like have fun at a party and not be so consumed with like controlling the narrative of your night and stuff. Like you just kind of were like there.
I think that's a huge point for like, especially for like discovering music, for accessibility. You'd literally have to come to like the experience to get it, you know, and you don't really have anything to take home with you after that. It was just that's what it was at that time, and I think that's what made it raw, and that's what made it interesting, and that's also what made it interesting too for a lot of like the creative network of like party photographers. That whole vibe, that was a humongous part of documentation of that period.
The level of accessibility that we all have now, whether it's to information, whether it's to like documenting everything and how that's affected things. There was also like the level of accessibility we had to like music as well when we were playing records, right? And you'd only be able to get so many new records every week, and then you had to try to like do something different with like the finite amount of music you had every time you DJ'd to kind of like keep it interesting.
But like I remember like when like as Hatch, you switched to Serato like maybe like at least easily like a year plus before I started. And so when I started on Serato, I remember desperately trying to just find ways to keep up music wise. The desperate downloads to get new music, you would compromise the quality to like just like a trash version of the song just so you can play it. And I don't think there was any music heads out there that cared so much about the quality more than like the effect it had on the party, to the point it didn't even really matter. Like at one point, DL, do you remember I played a ringtone off of my cell phone?
Oh my God,
vinyl, and because I didn't have the records, I just played the ringtone. It was kind of fucked up, but it was so charming that you can get away with it, that people loved it anyways, because it was really about the experience, and the rest of like those details didn't matter as much as us just having a fun time and trying to be innovative and seeing how far we can push it.
Each one of us were genuinely having fun. Like it wasn't a like full-blown operation, you know what I mean? Like some people like, you know, they kind of just like promote stuff from an office and then like they're not even at the event stuff sometimes. And like we were there jamming out, we loved all the music, and we were friends with all the people there too. So I mean, for anybody new coming in, it's super welcoming atmosphere, because it's like, oh yeah, I want to be part of that too, because it's not like a show-offy kind of vibe. It was like genuinely like, yeah, these guys are having a good time and I want to be friends with them. And a lot of them did become friends with us. So,
but I miss that spontaneity, and like I don't know if that will ever return.
No. Yeah. I don't think it will.
Not with social media and all that. I don't think. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, like, everybody's too knowledgeable about everything now.
What's the vibe like when you're talking to like people doing these interviews? Like what's the perspective that you're hearing?
I mean, for the most part, I feel like as a collective, everyone agrees that like magic of the spontaneity of like, who knows what will happen tonight is gone.
That sounded tragic the way you said it.
It's gone.
It's gone.
It is. Or is it that we grew up?
No, well, that's the thing. It's like, am I just old, or is this really the case?
I mean, I think there's probably a bit of both. Like we get older, but also I think that there was something special about like people not being able to check social media at the party either. Like you just checked at home and then went to that address and met up with your friends there, and that was it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then you check the next day for the pictures, like Shay was saying before, and also the music that you heard there. Well, you went to the next party to hear it again. If there's a track that you didn't really quite know, like those jams were like belonging to that party.
Remember that time, Hatch, we were at that loft in Toronto, and it doesn't matter who the guys are, but you know them, and they downloaded your hard drive while you were downstairs so that they can get all of your music. Do you remember that? And then you came upstairs and you saw them because you gave them the hard drive to be like, oh, hey, just check this file, like one file. And you came back and they were downloading your entire music library.
Oh my God, I don't remember that.
Do you remember that?
Not really.
Oh shit! You were fucking pissed. I remember you going upstairs and you cut them off halfway through, Johnny Mnemonic style. You just ripped the shit out of the computer, and then you were like,
Johnny Mnemonic.
you were like,
There was a period of time right when Serato came out that Jazzy Jeff's hard drive was going around New York.
Oh
yeah.
no.
Did that happen in Montreal, or did that like?
No, that I mean, not the Jazzy Jeff, but DJ Assault played a party and someone like stole his computer.
Oh yeah, somebody stole his hard drive or stole his computer.
I remember it was either his hard drive or his computer, but somebody at the party took all his stuff like while he was playing, or I don't remember exactly what it was, but that was like devastating. But I was like, well, where is it? But I wouldn't.
Devastating. But
we also had like a bunch of like sound effects that we would like load into the Serato, and like that were kind of like our signature sounds. And there were some other DJs who like, I remember at one point like messaged me being like, oh, can you like send me the like sound effect that you use? And I was like, dude, that's like our signature thing. Like, first of all, if you just Google it, you'll probably be able to find like the sound effect yourself. Like, also, why don't you find your own fucking tagline?
Yeah, and if you really need it, like Flossy Effects on Flash is also available to like download. Do you remember that, Roxy? Flossy Effects?
Mm-mm.
Like Flashadamus made a special effects like soundboard that you can just like run through your computer while you're playing. And it had everything like lasers, air horns, gunshots, all of that stuff. Called it Flossy Effects. I think it was Curtis who made it. He must have made it.
I talked to both of them, but Kurt didn't mention that.
They didn't mention Flossy Effects. They put Flossy Effects up on the hoverboard, and everybody downloaded that shit. Everybody had Flossy Effects. That was sick.
Any other crazy stories you guys want to share before we wrap it up?
Adam and I were doing like a cross Canada thing. We played the Hi-Fi in Calgary, and then I think we went to like
We went to Edmonton.
Oh, we went to Edmonton, and then we played that crazy weird basement party with Mark. Then we went and played in Vancouver, and I guess it was like an off night. It was not the night we were DJing. It was like the night after or whatever. We had another night in Vancouver, and I went to like a Western bar with my gay husband, and this dude is like, he's got at least 100% body weight on me, and we're just like drinking shots of Jack Daniels until like I was basically like blackout. We get out of the bar, and I don't know how, but I was like just, being myself and being wild, and I managed to like run and jump into the side of a metal like stop sign, like directly like and so now I'm like, my nose is bleeding, my nose is cut, my forehead is cut, and blood is just like pouring down my face. And we are like trying to get a cab, and cabs keep like stopping, taking one look at the guy who's about to get in and being like, oh hell no, and driving away, because like no cabs want like bloody face mask, even fucking King movie in their cab. But we finally, like, some woman who was hanging out with Jason was like wearing white gloves and was like kind enough to give me one of them, and I like kind of like wiped enough blood off my face that we could get in a cab. And this fool decides that instead of like taking me to the Howard Johnson where Adam is, this dude in the cab decides it's a good idea to stop at a bar where he throws parties, and he goes into the bar and comes out with a 40 of Jack Daniels and brings it into the cab. We drive over to the Howard Johnson. I like barge into the like lobby of this hotel, and I'm like, what's my room number? Like, and they're like, sir, I don't think you should go to your room right now. Like, you are like bleeding profusely from the face. And I'm like, it's fine. And we like bust into the hotel room, and Adam's like on his like lying on his stomach with his feet kicked up in the air, like playing like emulator video games on his laptop. He's just like having a quiet night in playing video games, and I'm like, ah! Like, well, there's a couple crazy ones. Like Rory Them Finest from Toronto drove us on our first tour. We went and played somewhere on Bedford in Brooklyn, I think. And then we went and played some party in Richmond, Virginia with Crames and Nick the Dude. And somehow, like, the entire bar basically like came back to our hotel after and was like in the pool outside this hotel room. And the dude who was like trying to like wrangle us was like just at one point, like, you know, after trying to get everybody to like leave or chill out, like for the 10th time, just decided like he was calling the cops. And like we had 30 people hiding like in a hotel room with the lights off, with the like curtains drawn, and the cops outside like knocking on the door being like,
yeah, because we all came out the pool, so all the wet footsteps led right back to the hotel door. Like idiots.
They're like calling the CSI. Like,
Wow. How do you guys feel like all of that has affected now what you were doing back then?
Well, let's say like personally for me, when I started doing a lot, like I got my hands on like some editing software so that I could do like background visuals for our parties in like at like Teen Wolf in Toronto. And it kind of gave me the confidence to be able to build up to like bigger events and bigger shows. So that's kind of what like Shads and I are doing now.
Yeah.
Is like a lot of multimedia direction, like creative direction, video content, like live shows, touring. So basically when it comes down to literally what we do in what we're doing now in the company that we have, it's really all based off of everything that we learned while throwing, honestly, just like loft parties, getting crazy, spontaneous, all of those things that we were talking about, like everything that we learned through that, we apply it 100% to what we're doing now. And that builds up to our authenticity, you know, especially when we're talking to people, they know that we're coming from like a real background, you know? Yeah. So
legit, Adam was creating artwork, like little loops to play on like the whatever projector that we had, like behind the DJ booth for like random events. And from like that started like, I guess maybe 2006 or 7. Yeah. And it has continued till now. The same energy, I guess, and the same intention is still there. It's now just scaled up to like these like, you know, world like international shows and international artists. So it's kind of crazy when you think about the beginning of it was really that, like that's where Adam's like first kind of like exploration of like creating video content and doing that type of like scenography or staging and stuff like that, like really started there. We started working together back then and, you know, ended up, you know, getting together. Now we have a kid together. Like we're like, you know, that's kind of crazy. Like we first started hanging out through peer pressure. So that's pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. And DL, how did that affect you personally?
I mean, for me, like meeting these guys, like what we were able to make together, I think there's a sense of like, oh, cool, like we'll always have that mark that we were able to make on that era and also on the culture in general. I mean, now it's something that I use, like, you know, when I'm thinking marketing or when I'm thinking copywriting as well. There's like Shay said, there's an authenticity in what we're able to do. Now in any project, looking back on it too, because I think that there's a certain intuition that you needed to be able to have too, and to like kind of like navigate all that. And yeah, but I mean, mostly it's just like something I like really fond of. I'm still fond of these guys, but yeah, it's holding on to that era and, you know, using the best parts of it and moving forward.
Patchy, how do you feel?
It's emotional, you know what I mean? Like it was a really special time, and certainly like I think just in terms of, and we've touched on this a little bit, but like there was kind of a perfect storm, so to speak, of a confluence of what was happening in music and like trying to like pull in all of these different sounds and mix them together and being able to have a lot of freedom, you know what I mean? Like us building this ourselves, like we didn't really have any agendas to kind of try to adhere to, and you know, for better or for worse, we were kind of just fumbling through it, and that's what made it authentic, organic, and just like so much fun. And I think we were really fortunate, I think, to be able to do it for so long and make a living at doing it and not really have to like think about too much else, right? Like I think for myself now, obviously I have a family to think about, and like it was a different world and a different time. And yeah, to a certain extent, I think I tried to touch on it a little bit. Like it just, people have access to everything now. And this was at a time where you really had to go and be at the event to experience what happened and be a part of it. And I think that there was something really special there. And we were really fortunate to be able to do this, you know, multiple times a week together for so many years.
I think like Hatchie and I spoke about this. Like, I think we always bring this up, that experience that we've had together. And one of the big parts about it too is the fact that we were also a crew doing it. We could like lean on each other in so many different ways. Like we had fun, we fought, we had some intense email, like behind the scenes situations, ongoing like disagreements and things like that. But we always had a crew together, which was dope, you know, between myself and Shads and Hatchie, like DL, and then Mark coming into the crew as well. Mel, like our link, you know what I mean? When it came down to like that indie like world, like when it came down to it, like all those ideas we have, and Gregular too, you know, who eventually got down to like Ottawa, but and like Liam, you know, like we all are connected with memories that are unlike anything else other than living week after week intense like experiences.
Very like coming of age kind of experience together, you know, like a very much of like that time of your life where you have that perfect like nothing else to do but get crazy with your friends. Literally.
Yeah, for real. And like, I think through that too is, I'm pretty sure that, you know, I've had my own experience with this as well. And I'm sure Hatchie and DL, Shads, I'm sure you've had as well. But like people just coming out of nowhere with a random message being like, hey, listen, like, you know, like I'm not really partying anymore. I don't really do that. I'm actually living in such and such, and I'm a director. I do this, or like they're on living their own life, but they'll just be like, listen, through like my experience when I was in Montreal, I would come out to your parties and like, it was just like life-changing experiences. Like I got a chance to like really explore myself, get comfortable, relax, and become the kind
a huge thing that what he's saying is that a lot of people like have very, very important memories, and like we really like made like that stamp on people's life, like where people like have that clear distinction of like before and after that era for them, where I don't know if that exists anymore, where people have that kind of like real like for young people today, like what is it for them? I don't know.
Someone
like,
asked me like, where is the Roxy Cottontail in New York City? And I'm like, I couldn't tell you.
Exactly. And I don't know either. Like I honestly know that like, and it's funny because some people are like, you know, can you guys do it again? Can you guys do it again? Get back together, do another one. And I'm like, we've tried, and honestly, like the energy is just so different. It's not the same. And it's like, it's not worth it, like to like try to like do this like memory lane nostalgia night, because it's just not there.
I think that it kind of like also cheapens the memory when you constantly try to recreate it too. And I think that it makes it more special when you just appreciate it for what it was as well. You know, like I think that, you know, the friendship's always going to be there for sure between us guys. And I mean, and also the pride that like we're able to change a lot of people's lives too. And what we did, so.
Yeah. I think also when you do it as hard as we did it, I have no like need to like do it.
Try and do it again.
It was
no, but honestly, all of this talk of this like conversation makes me like really miss like that energy, and it makes me realize how long it's been.
You must be having so much fun hearing everybody's perspective and stories.
And thank you so much for inviting us. I'm really happy that you like reached out and got us on this, because I would be like, I'm so happy to be a part of it.
But you guys are a hoot and just a joy, and I'm so happy that I could get you all together. Thanks for hopping by. That's it for this week. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, and stalk. Bounce, little kitty.